Coming up on the 6 o'clock hour, we have thunderstorms moving across Benton County. As of right now, they are not severe. I do think they're probably going to issue a warning on this Benton County storm, though. It's indicating at least 1 inch hail on the storm that's essentially right over Centerton now, tracking to the southeast. I'm also watching an accident on I 49 because, of course, there's an accident on I 49. The rain's coming down pretty good, too, there. That's out towards Rogers. You can't see a whole lot of traffic out there. That's going to be I believe that's the northbound lanes on the shoulder, inside and outside. So some slow go there with, man, a lot of rainfall that's coming down. So let's take a look at what's happening now and then what to expect as we move into the overnight. So these storms have developed with two things: the cold front and daytime heating. That's what caused them to bubble up. Later tonight, we're in for another chance of some showers and storms. That's probably after midnight, closer to 2 or 3 a.m. That's where the complex that develops and swings down to the south. This is what it looks like right now, though. Some heavy showers and storms over Rogers East, also Bentonville. A lot of it just moved past Bentonville, now tracking towards the Centerton area. See if we can get a better shot at this here on radar and look a little closer at what's going on. So there's the front draped across the area with the showers and storms forming along and just behind the front, too. I'm going to localize this a little bit better so we can get an idea of where these storms are strongest and where they're tracking towards. Here's Rogers and Bentonville, several lightning strikes. Real quick, I want to check the wind real quick just to see what the velocity is showing. Let's look back over here too. Looking for wind signatures that indicate downburst winds. That's probably the biggest thing. Maybe a little right in there. That's going to be on Southwest Regional Airport Road. We've also got a little bit going on out towards Rogers East. That's towards downtown Rogers. Here's a look at those storms as they track on in. I'm going to flip back over to reflectivity now and get a closer look at this thing as it starts to scoot into the area. These storms have developed again with that daytime heating and continue to trend and track southward. So expect to see these storms move in and out pretty quick for Rogers and Bentonville. We may see them follow that line to the southeast, though. If you look real close, you can actually catch that little, see that boundary right there? Storms are kind of zipping up along that line. So right in here, I think we probably do get a little bit more storms this evening. We'll probably see some southeast of Fayetteville, southern Madison County as well, along Highway 23. May get some stuff popping up just north of St. Paul and south of Witter a little bit later on. You can probably see that cumulus line that's out there that's tracking across the area too. So these showers and storms will continue here through the evening. Again, a lot of this is caused by daytime heating along with that boundary that's in the area. These storms are pretty much the first wave that's moving through, and then another chance of some showers and storms for the overnight into the evening. So let's get in on this. Just like that last round that we had moved through, that was chock full of lightning. I think this one's going to be all kinds of lightning as well as it moves on through the area. Let's see here. These storms are essentially tracking south and southeast towards Lowell, Elm Springs, and eventually Town and the Springdale area. So quite a bit going on in terms of some rainfall that's out there right now. Those storms are moving east, southeastward out across the area. See what it looks like out here in the Rogers area. This is Rogers Live. This is out towards Shadow Valley. You can see the trees starting to move around quite a bit. Things moving awfully fast with this rain that's coming in. It'll be torrential rainfall too. So we're looking at some heavy showers and thunderstorms as they track on in. Wind is the primary danger with these storms. It doesn't look like we have that high of a tornado threat or even a hail risk with this, but certainly the wind is going to be an issue as this stuff moves on through the area. The storms that are out there seem to be strongest southeast of Bentonville and over Rogers. Now, this is an area that actually needs the rainfall. We've seen, haven't seen a whole lot in the way of rain so far. Put the ring camera outside in front of the front porch. Let's see. Hey, there we go. Well, there's no bird nest, but you can see things moving around quite a bit, and we expect to see more of these showers and storms track on through. Probably some very heavy rainfall as well as some gusty winds as they move in. Again, that's dropping north to south, essentially right along 112 with gusty winds, and the gust front seems to be moving through Rogers right now. All right, closer look here. Centerton, back down to the south. You can see the storms here south of Centerton. That's along South Main Street. Buckhorn Flats Road, Brookside Road, North Rainbow Farm Road, and then that tracks back down towards Southwest Regional Airport Boulevard. So some very heavy rain in this area, as well as some wind. Hey, I should point out, as of at least right now, there are no severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Although I do think they probably put one up on this storm at least at some point in time. You also have additional development ahead of that line out towards Fayetteville and South Fayetteville. Looks like a new one's kind of springing to life there out there over Centerton and Rogers. So Lowell is going to get this. Bentonville, we've still got it going on. It looks like the east side of Bentonville is getting it the worst. A lot of wind out towards Rogers now. This is Southeast J Street in Bentonville, though, and North John DeShields, where you'd head out towards Crystal Bridges. Some of the Crystal Bridges rainfall starts to let up just a little bit there on the northwest side of Bentonville. Still pretty heavy, though. 3 lightning strikes in a row out there on West Hudson moving east. And then out towards 62, where that weird intersection is, moving northeast off Northeast Hudson Road, getting some showers and storms. The wind starting to pick up quite a bit in the Rogers area. A lot of this is the gust front that's moving through. So the leading edge is the gust front, and then underneath the storm, what you have is you'll have some of those downburst winds that move through. So we've got a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and some heavy-duty showers and storms that should be in the area briefly, and then we reload, and we do this all again later on tonight and then into tomorrow morning. So these showers are tracking southeast. Another wide view shows you a whole lot else going on out there. The boundary, can you see the front there, guys? Stretching from around Wichita back down through Little Rock. That's the boundary here. So storms are along and ahead of that line as they move on through. This is Rogers and Bentonville with those storms, and I think we probably do get some storms farther south in towards Lowell here shortly, and then additional thunderstorms in Springdale, at least on the north side of Springdale, probably this evening as they track on through. So that's a look at what's happening now. I'll take you back to another Rogers camera here in a second. Let's see if we can find that gust front here. Rain's starting to come down. This is going to be out towards Shadow Valley. You can see the heavy wind, heavy rain that's starting to move in. New severe thunderstorm warning. This one just coming in for Benton and Washington County. Figured we'd get one, and sure enough, we did get one. Those thunderstorms now severe in Benton County, issued based on wind, and out there towards Shadow Valley, you can see some of that heavy rain that's coming down. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning with this, and again, that's going to pick up through the next couple of hours. About the next hour or so. And then eventually it drops south into Fayetteville and is going to have a wind damage risk in Fayetteville too, possibly even Elkins. Bentonville, it's on the downswing though, it looks like. Starting to wind down just a notch in Bentonville. Let me look at these 3 areas of strong thunderstorms here. Well, 4 if you want to count this one back to the west, or even 5 if you want to count that one. But looking in at this, it looks like it's strongest now on that's South 8th Street in Rogers between South 13th and 8th, West Green Acres Place, South 9th, West Dyke Road, getting some of that heavy rainfall. And then right along I-40 along Ajax Avenue and South 28th Place, it looks like these storms are really starting to pick up too. So that's going to be moving south out towards Pleasant Grove Road and some heavy cells along Champions Drive and then down to the southeast. It crosses over Pleasant Grove and then moves out towards 264. Picks up quite a bit out there towards Bellevue and West Monroe, as well as Spring Creek Road, just south of 264. So those storms dropping southeast, pretty much right across Benton County. So looks like a new scan there here pushes that one more towards the south near Oak Grove and Elm Springs. And then you've got more north and northwest that are about to track into the area too. So we've got plenty of storms that are out there and then additional storms becoming likely. Out around the Pleasant Grove area, let me see if I can get that for you here. It looks like RDOT's moving the camera. Man, you got to feel for the emergency crews, huh? Working out there in this rainfall, torrential rain, lightning. You can see the decrease in visibility. By the way, this is out towards Pleasant Grove and Rogers. So the Pleasant Grove area is really getting hit with some of these showers and storms. That's along Dodson and Stony Brook. That's really coming up towards Pinnacle and the Amp right now, as well as Pinnacle Country Club. Looks like it's getting hit pretty hard by some of this rainfall. I mentioned this earlier, but we really kind of do need the rain. It's just a bummer when you get the rain with the severe weather. If you can pull it off without the severe weather, it's a win-win. But unfortunately, we've got some wind to deal with this thing as it's moving on through. I'm gonna find another camera for you in Rogers. It looks like a lot of them are down here on 59 from Embassy down through Bellevue. Let me see if I can get one around New Hope's down too. Let's see here. If I can't get it, I'm just going to stay on radar. Yeah, Walton's down. I don't know. Maybe RDOT's a little wonky right now. We'll see if we can pull that one back up for us. All right, so another wide view of the storms. Bella Vista, we're in the clear. That thing just moved on through. And then after this, why don't we look a little closer for some hail, see if we've got any hail to contend with, and I think we probably will. Severe thunderstorm warning goes until 6:45 p.m. I'm looking out towards the Oakwood overpass where that traffic jam is just getting terrible. Look at that. That's as the wind is coming in. That's looking northbound on I-49 as the showers affect uh, parts of Pleasant Grove. There's another look at it here. Why don't we go ahead and look for rotation and wind damage now? New scan. Continuing to drop south. Some pockets of gusty winds here out towards Lowell, a little bit out towards Vaughn too. I think analysts is probably going to do a better job of nailing these wind pockets here. So some gusty winds. There's a pixel right here south of Highfill that's close to 60 miles an hour. That is west southwest of Cave Springs and northwest of Elm Springs. Cave Springs has winds of about 40 knots, 43 knots, so close to 45 to 50 miles an hour here in Cave Springs. Also out towards Lowell, you're getting some of those very gusty winds. Rotation wise, nope. Don't see anything that's spinning out there, so that's some good news. I do see a little bit of hail, 2 spots to watch. Got one here on the north side of Lowell. That's just north of Cambridge Place and south of Madison, so that's southeast of Rogers High School. And then you've got those storms east of Silo Falls on the other side of the interstate, pretty much on 71 near Lowell, that are pretty strong. JB Hunt, where that's moving in now, and backing on out, this is the hail again. Starting to get some of that hail just west of Beausoleil, but probably closer towards X&A. It's right here. So south and west of X&A is where some of that hail is a little bit stronger. And that also coincides with the dark pink and purple colors that you're seeing on radar. So no tornadoes with this, some small hail, and some damaging winds. Damaging winds are the primary threat with any of these storms that develop. And again, the general track of this is south-southeast. So heads up in Fayetteville, guys. This thing is coming through here shortly and is going to be moving in with quite a bit of wind and rainfall. Let's go back over to radar here and put this in. Actually, let's change to reflectivity, and then we'll check out some hail parameters too to see if anything's out there. So here's another view of those storms. Again, that warning goes till 6:45. That's about another 30 minutes or so, and that's through Fayetteville and through Elkins too. So the back edge of this moves through fairly quick. I will tell you though, there is more that's going to develop just to our north that moves through overnight. So it's not a one and done type thing. We do have more storms to move in later tonight and during the overnight hours in the first part of the day for tomorrow. And those are tracking south, southeast. Try to pull some cameras up for you here. Let's head on out towards Shadow Valley, see what it looks like. There you go. A lot of wind and rain now. Not quite as much as we had just a moment ago when they started moving through. Radar-wise, the stuff is dropping nearly due south. Rogers, Elm Springs. Hey, heads up Fayetteville. You guys are going to get it next. Actually, we have some rain already in Fayetteville. We're going to get a little bit more coming up with those showers that are moving in. Again, that's south-southeast. Now to look at Rogers Live, some of the winds starting to pick on up. The wind speeds are going to get a little bit stronger here, probably at least 40 to 50 miles an hour as this thing races across Rogers and then moves south out towards Johnson, Fayetteville, as well as Elm Springs with those showers and storms. All right, so let's look at this a little bit more. Here we are. Looks like the back edge of the rainfall is right now along Southwest I Street and 14th. Here's Walton moving north-south. So that's the back edge. The leading edge still going pretty strong. Looks like a brand new lightning strike popping up there just north of West Walnut along North 13th Street in East Rogers. And then you really get into some of these heavier showers here near Cross Hollow. That's just to the east of South Old Wire Road and south of Montenay Branch. New lightning strike just popped up there too. That's going to be south of Stony Point Road, closer towards Montenay. So getting some heavy showers there. And then as you move towards Lowell, a really heavy thunderstorm here near West Apple Blossom Avenue and East Monroe. So right along 264 seems to be where this is really cranking and going here in the Lowell area. And that's going to drop southeastward and eventually affect South Lowell in that 612 bypass interchange. Let's see if we can find that interchange real quick. I think I've got that one right there. There you go. So there's the 612 interchange. And sure enough, you've got some cars pulling out underneath the overpass. And not a lot of hail with this, but there could be some small hail. I think the thing is, when you have so much moisture like this in the atmosphere, you're really dealing with um, a lot of rainfall in a short amount of time that can cause some street flooding and getting some of those creeks and streams to start jumping up. New scan didn't change a whole lot. Still got it going on here. There's X and A, by the way. There's the kiss and fly zone, or do they still call it that? Um, where that circle is. So you got the parking garage that's over here, and then you got the terminal here and the runway, which is out to the west. So if your plane was supposed to take off at 6:14, sorry, it's not going to happen. You got to wait a couple minutes before that runway gets clear and the convection moves on out. Heavy thunderstorms here near Heifel and 264. That's going to blow right over Healing Springs and then track southeast. So we're going to have that along Colonel Myers Road and then Beauchalet and Hayden Road just to the southeast of Heifel. And then that's going to continue tracking southward, eventually getting into Cave Springs, coming down 264 and 112. There's Brown Road and East Lowell Avenue in the Cave Springs area. So 112 running north. The Casey's, I think, is on the corner right there. The church is across the street. So it's essentially right along that 264, 112 interchange. And then that drops south into 612, which is what I had pulled up just a second ago here. So that's that 612 interchange. The heaviest is actually to the right of this screen, just judging by radar. We were looking at it right there near West Apple Blossom. So farther south, some of the storms are picking up here in Springdale and Tawnytown too. That's along in Tawnytown. That's South 64th Street as well as Apple Road, West Sunset westbound out towards Tawnytown and the church here. There's North Barrington Road, so that's going to move up there towards the post office, which is I think right there, and that rolls north up towards 112 and. I think 112 gets really soaked by this. Not a lot going on out in Johnson at the moment, but we have more storms that are picking up here as we drop south into the northwest side of Fayetteville. So northwest Fayetteville is starting to get some of this stuff too popping up. That is just, is that near the Fulbright Expressway? It's kind of close to it. See if we can take you to that one real quick. A live look at that. That's looking east. So the storm is to the top left of the screen, moving on down towards the south. With that southbound traffic moving pretty good. Doesn't seem to be affecting the Fulbright Expressway heavily just yet, but I think it will probably with time. So that's the wide view of what's going on. One more look at this thing. If I loop it for you, you can see the storm tracking southeast. It's moving fairly quick too. Definitely not a slow moving storm. Weather Service saying 70-mile-per-hour winds and hail just under quarter size, 0.88. So a little bit less than quarter. And they've got that going for about another 30 minutes or so. So let's dig into this. Let's find where the wind is and where the wind is strongest. We'll do that with analysts. And right now, that's 2-inch hail. It's popping up west of Fayetteville. Is that legit? Let's see. Ooh, yeah, where is that? That's west southwest of the Links in Fayetteville. Look at that little pixel there. Some heavy thunderstorms just west of the Links there in Fayetteville. So that's along Highway 16 on the west side of Fayetteville, showing a pretty decent hail signature. Isolating the hail here just to the west. Look at that a little closer. That's some big hail. It's the biggest we've had so far that have popped up. So that would be here's North Rupel Road, and then out towards the west, east, you're looking at it along North Crooked Stick Way, North Izzard Lane, and then West Harvard Street, West Yale Street, West Buckeye, West Essex, sorry, and West Oakfield. That's all moving southeastward out towards exit 64, right there on the Fulbright Expressway and the Weddington exit. So some pretty decent hail that's falling out there. Radar indicated 2 inches. Keep in mind though, radar indicated it's a little squirrely this time of year. It's taking into account liquid in the atmosphere, and it's so humid that it may be overestimating some of the hail that's out there. Out towards Weddington Road, let's look live. There you are. Boy, traffic stopped on the side of the road there. Lots of hazard lights. In the southbound lane, northbound traffic looks like it's slowed and stopped out towards the side. Very heavy rainfall. Some of that wind too. Look at the um, bottom right of the screen. I guess you can't see it there with the banner, but there's some trees that are taking a pounding there as the storm moves on in towards Weddington. White Rock and East is seeing this, Fayetteville Junction, and then back to the north. Let's see if we can isolate the strongest cells. We got one there, there, and there. This one near Fayetteville has got the hail in it though, and that's just west of the links in Fayetteville. So looking into this a little bit more with the wind. Oh, hang on, there's a new scan. See if it changes anything. Not too much. Just a little bit north of Hinesville too. So back over to analyst and looking at first the reflectivity, and then we're going to take a look at the velocity here. The Weather Service just now saying a wind gust at 65 miles an hour just reported at Northwest Arkansas National. That's out there at XNA. So we had almost 70-mile-an-hour winds going on out there. Good grief. That is a lot of wind in Heifel and XNA tracking towards the south. There we go. Oh, there it is. Yeah, let's back it up here. We'll zoom in. Let's see if we can find it here. So here's Heifel. There's XNA right here in the center of the screen. I'll put a dot there for you and then zoom out so we can see where XNA is. I'm going to back it up a couple of frames. You can see the runway there too. Right there was the gust. About the time they issued the warning is when they had the That's when it happened. So we got two pockets of wind here. We have one that is west of Bridgewater Estates. That's west of Sassafras Springs. Pretty much on the east side of the interstate, more towards 71. Northwest Arkansas Mall is right here. The food trucks are going to be over here. And it looks like that is about where that one is located with some gusty winds. This is showing close to 60 miles an hour though. I mean, this thing's hauling. And then another one that is north of Highway 16 here, that is north of Farmington dropping south. So I really don't see the wind and rain risk as much in Rogers and Lowell as I do in Johnson, Springdale, Tawnytown, and Fayetteville, especially the west-northwest side of Fayetteville out towards Highway 16. That's where that thing is really coming down now. Out towards Weddington, and then just north of that around Mount Comfort. I guess that's Stephen Carr Boulevard. See if we can find that one real quick. That's looking southbound. It looks like the heaviest is actually just passed over that area. Back to the wind here. I think west of Farmington is really where we get into a lot of this wind. Moving through pretty quick though. Garland Avenue, exit 67. This is out towards the Sam's Club. Just looking at it here. Can't really make out a whole lot, can you? Cars seem to be moving pretty good in that area. It's more towards the west, really, where that is, where that's heaviest. Here it is, an analyst again showing you the wind speeds and then the radar. I'm also seeing some slow traffic out there towards the Johnson Mill Boulevard exit. That's looking northbound here in Johnson. Some of the heaviest, I think, is actually south of Johnson. Although, look at the northbound traffic on the right side. Huh, there ain't much, is there? No one's moving north. It's that big cell is south of there. Everybody's moving southbound. Heads up, guys. You are driving into it. Seriously, though, the right side of the screen, look at that. No northbound traffic there. That storm is essentially, let's see here. Looking at Johnson. So we're right there looking north. So they're driving through this mess that's out there. And this is southwest of Dean Street and west of Sang Avenue, right there near exit 64. So that's going to put this along West Ann Street, north Timbercrest Avenue, west Dorothy Jean Street, west Megan Drive, west Cornerstone Place. And that is essentially right over Porter Road, maybe a little bit of west of Porter Road, coming up on the Weddington exit. So Weddington, the Weddington exit's been under construction since 1902. Okay, maybe it hasn't been that long, but it's been a hot minute. And looking at it here, things are really moving slow here. That's looking southbound. So the northbound traffic is slowed and stopped in a few spots. I think the heaviest on the last radar scan actually takes it through there, through Weddington, and moves a little farther south. There it is, another shot of it. So we're looking right in here at Weddington, the Fulbright Expressway, and I'm showing the heaviest cell now out towards Martin Luther King and Old Farmington Road, moving on towards the south and to the southeast. So let's see if we can look out towards MLK and see what's going on there on the west side of Fayetteville. There's a live look with that RDOT cam looking northbound. The strongest part of the storm is straight ahead and to the left. So it hasn't really hit this camera shot yet, but it's going to be hitting there here shortly. The heaviest seems as if it's right over Old Farmington Road. You guys out there on Scottwood Place, West Tulsa Street, South One Mill Road, and West Salida Lane really getting it. Same with West Velda Court, West Sandra Street, and then, of course, coming up on MLK. There's South Finger Road. You got the Walmart Supercenter that's out here on the west, and some really good cinnamon rolls a little bit more towards the west, out towards Briar Rose. Those are all tracking south towards Drake Field. So we should actually get another measurement near Drake Field with some of this stuff once it moves through. Farther north, I'm not real impressed by this stuff. I know it's raining with some heavy rainfall in Rogers and in Springdale. Um, it doesn't really seem to be that much of a wind maker, though, in that area. Here it is again. Winds have come up quite a bit there west of Johnson. It's kind of what we were just talking about. That's north of White Rock, north of Wheeler, probably getting pretty close to what are we on? Weir Road here? Yeah, Weir Road. And then that's moving northwest side of Fayetteville. Last scan puts it closer to Westview Meadows. And here's Rupel Road. And then tracking south towards West Mount Comfort, North Salem Road. We've got it along West Thornbrook Street, North Gooseberry Lane, West Woodlark Lane, and North Raven Lane with some of that heavy wind and rainfall. I'm gonna go back over to analysts. I'm gonna look at hail real quick, see if there's any chunks flying out of this thing. So the wind actually is picking up on the east side of Fayetteville too. Getting a hail signature here of 1 inch hail between Farmington and Prairie Grove. Yep, right there. So you got some hail that's falling here between Prairie Grove and Farmington, maybe up to quarter size or so. It doesn't look like it's huge hail or anything like that, but some decent hail that's moving in with that particular storm. Let's see here. These are moving southeast at 45, so these are booking it, man. These aren't going to be around for a whole long time. They're moving pretty quick, and they'll get into the Ozarks, and then current track. Is it going to hit Fort Smith or not? Let's see. Let's loop this thing. I don't know, guys. It may go just to the north. It may be more of an Alma Mulberry type thing, depending on how this forms. Of course, you've got some upscale growth too to the north. That's the only severe cell out there, although that one in Pope County is interesting. That may end up with another severe thunderstorm warning eventually. And of course, right over Fayetteville right now, we have those storms right overhead. Fayetteville and Farmington really getting slammed, aren't we? Um, those things are moving right over us. Go back to the other source, maybe. There we go. Here's another wide view of the storms. Remember, that front is draped over the area, and that's what's causing this stuff. The good news is the front moves through. I love that. And it's going to drop temperatures drastically here for early in the week, probably 80s instead of this nonsense of near 100. You know, the heat index, and I posted this on the old Facebook earlier, the heat index was actually more, it felt like 108 here, and it was 108 actual degrees in Death Valley. And that temperature was actually lower at 102, that feels like, because it's the dry heat, right? Well, we've got a sweat heat and a gross heat going on, and that doesn't look to be changing at least anytime soon. Back over to radar. Let's find out what's happening here from Greenland to Fayetteville. Stop the radar. Let's get real local with this. This is MLK and West Farmington. If there's hail falling, I think it's going to be right in here near South Millsap Lane and then South Centennial Park out towards Weddington. Moving south, there's South Shiloh Drive, and then the south part of Fayetteville. I think we can probably get a camera loaded in that area looking northbound. I wonder if mile marker 59 looks interesting. Let's see here. Well, it looks blurry because it's really raining. Now this is on a normal day looking north, you could see Old Main out in the distance. You can't see squat now, but on the right side of this screen would be the Washington County Sheriff's Department. Straight ahead would be Old Main, and the left side of the screen would be MLK. But man, it's raining like cats and dogs there. Those folks are moving slow. Let's see here. Futrell Drive, Futrell. That's looking northbound as well. You know, you're actually not supposed to drive with your hazard lights on. I'm not trying to start a controversy, but I did read that. I don't know. I turn them on whenever people slam on their brakes on 49 just so I don't get rear-ended. It is what it is. Let's see here. Elkins. Hey guys, nothing yet, but it's coming. Heavy wind and rain out towards Elkins. That's going to be moving out towards West Fork next, Prairie Grove. Fayetteville, it's pretty much right on top of us right now. So heavy showers and storms in Fayetteville, in Greenland. Probably a washout now at MLK. Looks like it is coming down pretty good at MLK and 49. Although visibility is actually a little bit better than you would expect. It's a little worse just ahead of this. And it may be because it's moving so fast. I mean, it's moving about 45 miles an hour. Some of these lightning strikes, pretty fresh there out towards South Lake Road and South Armstrong Road. Looks like there's another one that happened out towards North School Drive on the east side of the interstate. Here's the Fulbright Expressway. So, you know, back in the day when you used to have to take the old 71 with that sign that says, what did it say? It was like 15 people killed here. Don't you be next. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've been here a while. When you drive north out of Alma back in the day, before 49 was built. But you'd end up here, and that was the first thing you'd see in Fayetteville before 49, and then you head up to the university. Here's West 15th Street, the Fulbright Expressway. Lost my white pixels on that. That may be an indication it's weakening a little. See how the white there kind of fell apart right there? Could have dumped all its hail out though. I haven't seen a lot of hail though on any of these cameras that I've been taking a look at. Most of it has just been super heavy rainfall that's coming down. Looking back north here, looking out towards Weddington. Weddington seems to increase with the visibility a little bit. Of course, there's construction on the right side. That poor person's trying to go around the cones. You know, there's been cones there since 1902 as well. Maybe not that long. There's been a lot of construction there, and it looks like the wind blew a bunch of cones. Look at them on the side of the road there, and you got some over here. You got to drive around it. There's cones here, cones there. It's like Bentonville. Where am I going, right? Another wide view shows that severe thunderstorm. Again, that's tracking south, so it's going to put it out across the Ozarks and towards the Hopper Tunnel. Will we see more? Possibly. When? After 2 or 3 in the morning. It'll be late when it moves in. Look at those people on the right side. They have no clue what to do. They're like, we just want to get on the interstate. How do we do it? This guy on the is like, hey, I'm just going to get on. I'm going to dot. Let's see if he goes around that barrel and gets on, or if he goes towards the access road. No, he's going on. He's got. Did he hit the barrel? No, he went around the barrel. Um, boy, look at that water right there. Watch the middle of the screen there with that right there. A lot of ponding on the roadway. Thing about it is with these tropical systems, not tropical systems, but you got tropical air mass in place. Whenever you get rainfall, you get a lot of rainfall. And frankly, this is an area that probably needs the rain. We haven't had quite as much here in North Fayetteville, Rogers, and Bentonville like we've seen in other locations. A lot of lightning and thunder there out towards Baldwin. This is 265 along, what is that, crossover? East Cliffs Boulevard, Wyman, East Huntsville Road, and then farther north along East Stone Mountain Drive, East Pebblestone, North Sandstone, and East Stone Mountain. That's along Cliffside and Rock Cliff, just east of crossover on 265. There's the intersection of Mission Boulevard and 265, so 45 and 265. That's southwest of Covington Park. We're getting some of that heavy showers and storms. It looks like there's a white pixel there near, what is that, South Happy Hollow Road and South Ray Avenue and East Uppervine Drive, along with Wood Spring Drive, getting some of those heavy storms. And that's moving south. A new lightning strike there. Just to the south of East Holmes Drive and South Sherlock Avenue. Some heavy storms on the east side of Fayetteville, too. Doesn't look as impressive back to the west. See if we got anything else coming in on this. Out towards Goshen. Looks like it increased right there, didn't it? That's west northwest of Goshen, out towards the Haverton area. That's along North Haverton Avenue and East Haverton Street. That intersection is really getting hit with this stuff as it moves through. Farther north, things are clean and clear in Bella Vista. Looks good in Bentonville. Rogers, it's ending from north to south. Lowell, it's still ending. Springdale, it's coming to a close. In Fayetteville, the worst is just south of town. Traffic's picking back up and moving a touch bit better there in the Fayetteville area. And again, this is going to continue dropping south on 49. So, you guys that have some plans going south on 49, this is what you're going to drive into. That is no bueno. That's looking northbound. So, again, Bomb Stadium would be on the right side. Um, Old Main would be straight ahead, but you just can't see hardly anything with that stuff. One thing I don't see is any signatures of very strong winds. Let's see here. Well, I take that back. There is one. Look right here. That is southeast of Prairie Grove, west of West Fork. And then you got another one coming into Elkins here, that pixel. Of course, we're sampling high up in the atmosphere. The radar beam at this point is actually 3,700 feet. It's showing close to 80, 90 knots. It's pretty strong. A little downburst there west of Elkins. Um, that's pretty high up, though. Down to the surface, it's probably not reaching. That's probably closer to about 60 once it makes its way down there. New update there. That's what is that, west of Highway 16, right in this area. And then just west of 49, west of West Fork. Looks like we got some gusty winds there too. Looks like a little bit of hail out there near Westville. Again, that whole blob is moving south, southeast. Let's see what these winds have been doing. Man, that was pretty strong right there. Those yellow colors, northwest of Fayetteville. May have gusted out. Boy, I think it's running south. The Weather Service has got it moving south at 45. I think it may be moving a little faster than that. One cool thing it's going to do, though, is push out an outflow boundary. Those things are neat. Um, you'll see that lowering in the sky. It kind of looks like a wall cloud, but it's not going to have any tornadoes with it. A shelf cloud is cold air pushing out. It actually points away from the rain, and then a wall cloud points towards the rain. That's warm air going up instead of cold air coming out. I was flipping around to a couple different cameras. Didn't see a whole lot that I was impressed by. The RDOT tunnel cam is blah. Mile marker 39 is down. Just south of Banyard, let's see here. That one's down. Someone didn't pay their internet bill. Let's look out towards Chester, looking south. I mean, that one's up, but there's nothing to see. Hey, you guys in Chester are going to get it, though. Your elevation's about 800 feet or so. Elevation as we drop south. Oh, that thing crashed on me. Let's try it again. There we go. No. There it is. That's looking southbound in Chester. Hasn't even rained yet. Of course, if we could find a camera that was looking north, it would probably make a little more sense. Here's a wide view of the storms that are moving in. And again, those are going to continue tracking towards the almost due south, aren't they? With those storms? Nearly due south, I suppose. Let's see here. I was wondering if I could load the HRRR real quick and show you guys what's coming up. So there's a loop of the storm that's severe. Pretty much over in Springdale. Fayetteville, it's coming to a close. It is a slow go on 49, but who cares? It's been a slow go for a month or two with that construction. Y'all have been caught in that construction yet? It's terrible, isn't it? You like have to be somewhere at a certain point in time, and then you run. I mean, they got to resurface it at some point, though. Can't just leave it like that. But I ran into a 45-minute delay once on 49, coming from Fort Smith to Rogers. That is looking northbound out towards Frog Bayou, looking north. So the storm's out in the distance. What I was trying to find, though, was the shelf cloud that's moving out there. I don't see it. Let's see here. Try another camera here west of Belmont. That's looking northbound. And of course, out towards Alma, looking east. None of those storms have made it in just yet, but we'll get it in Alma. These storms are probably going to hit Alma. I'm not sure they hit Fort Smith, though. It actually may go just east of Fort Smith. This is from exit 12. Boy, that's a beautiful shot, huh? Got the sunshine that's out there. The storm to the left side of the screen. So this is looking east. This is that interchange where you exit I don't know, RDOT. Come on now. Um, where you exit 12 and then head on to 49 and then move northbound. So if you're getting on that poor person, that truck is going to drive right into it. And the general track of this is like straight down I-49. Wind rise, let's see here. Wind west of West Fork, a little bit of wind in Greenland. That's lined up. That's south of Fulbright Expressway. So I think the worst is pretty much over with in Fayetteville. It's really hitting Greenland hard right now, though. That's a live look in Greenland. Really coming down. Matter of fact, right about where this camera is, west of um, West Napier Drive, North Campbell Road, and 265. Looks like it's really picking up a lot. There's North Cato Springs Road, exit 58. So that's by the McDonald's and the truck stop there on the west side of Greenland. It's kind of where that camera was too. I haven't seen any hail though. Sometimes you can see the hail bouncing off the road, and that just hasn't been the case. West of Greenland though, looks like we've got some storms popping up north of Illinois Chapel Road. That is going to be due west of North Garland McKee Road and Sage Road. And then that one's going to move out towards West Fork. So West Fork, you're in for it. Baldwin, we got a big one over us, don't we? This is where are we, guys? Along the White River, along South Dead Horse Mountain Road, and that neighborhood there with South Angels Road, East History Street, East Royal Drive. New update takes it a little bit more to the south, moving up towards Black Oak, East Black Oak Road, and Mountain Spring Road here. That's just south of Baldwin, where that particular storm is. So another wide view shows you the showers and storms that are underway. Again, that's tracking south. That probably flips Alma. It probably does get right into Ozark, I think. But it looks like, at least in Rogers and Bentonville, things are going to be a lot better. I wonder how much it cooled down. I wonder if I've got that thing loaded. Let's just look. Um, this button? Not that button. Let's see if we can go back to it here. Maybe it's this button. Yay. Um, shows the storm. Some of the temperatures aren't reporting, but XNA is reporting 84 degrees. Oh, these are heat index. Oh, y'all, the heat index in Fort Smith is 115. That is gross. That is so humid and sticky. Actual air temperature, though, is down to 77 in Rogers. Nice little cool down. 72 in Springdale, 74 in Fayetteville. Rain coming down. Silent Springs, we just got clipped by this. We've actually still got winds at about, we got the storm just south of town here. I'm just looking at the wind speeds. Northwest at 10 knots. Heat index is 101. Actual air temperature is 90. You can see the cloud cover, though, caused by the storms that are out there, working to cool things down a little bit. Fort Smith, literally, we're 100 degrees right now. Actual air temperature. And again, that heat index is closer to 115. So we could use the rain and we'll get it. By the way, I mentioned this earlier on the Facebook, but it was like 108 actual degrees in Death Valley. But Fort Smith, you got them beat with the heat index. Feels like 115. Your heating or your gas bill is probably gas bill. Your electric bill is going to be twice that probably. Northbound out towards Greenland, looking live, looking slow go here as that rain comes in. Again, that's tracking due south, so it's out of Rogers and Elm Springs, now making its way out towards West Fork with heavy wind and rain. Let's look at the velocity image again. High res velocity. Yeah, we got some wind with this. I bet this is a good 40 or 50 miles an hour easily. Inside those little blue pockets, you probably get winds that are closer to 60, like we had that 65-mile-per-hour gust that moved through earlier. Do storm relative here. That takes out the forward motion. Let's look at this. Lots of lightning with it. Stronger winds out towards Prairie Grove. And again, that's diving due south, it looks like. Elkins, we're getting it now. And Huntsville, Hinesville, 295, just north of Wesley. That is, let's see here, Madison 7750 and Madison 7740. You know where that is? I don't, but if you live there, you probably do. Um, there's 7730, so that makes sense. It's 7740. It's just south of there. All that's going to get some heavy rainfall too. Zooming out a little more, you got some storms north of Russellville, but again, I think this stuff finally moves on in and hits parts of Ozark a little later on. It may clip Fort Smith. If this stuff near Stillwell can actually build southwest, it looks like it's trying to right there. If it can, then we'll get this thing in Fort Smith. I think you get the outflow boundary regardless, so you'll get some cooler air. Um, I'm not sure you get the severity though, which isn't bad. We can do without the storms. So that storm continues to move south. That one is moving south of Fayetteville. Again, additional storms are likely tonight. I'm looking and thinking probably close to 2 or 3 in the morning for that next round of storms. That could be with a complex. The uncertainty in the forecast today is actually pretty high. Earlier, even when I was looking at it, it was uncertain whether or not these would develop or not. It looked like it might be over us, looked like it might be a little east, kind of a messy, sloppy pattern that we're in now. But I think the bottom line is you have that storm that's moving through now, a pause, and then more storms overnight, 2, 3 in the morning ish that carry through the first part of the day. And then you get into some cooler temperatures, something like upper 80s. So it'll feel a little bit more comfortable out there as we start the week coming up into early next week. And I think most of the week looks pretty good. Even highs by the end of the week are like low and mid 90s, which considering the heat index is 115 in Fort Smith, it's going to feel a lot better. So I might see you guys back here in the middle of the night tonight as these storms move through. We'll see what this thing does as it gets close to Ozark. I may jump back on here and track this storm south as it moves on in. Well, I say that. Just got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This one is excludes the west side of Fort Smith, but actually includes the east side. There it is flashing on the screen here. So they issued it for East Fort Smith, East Van Buren, Alma, and Mulberry. Weather Service has got this at 70-mile-an-hour winds again, and it goes for about 45 minutes. I'm just looking at this real quick here. Goes till 7:30. Had a history of producing 60, 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Not surprising. We've seen that already. We'll probably see it again as it moves south. So if it gets a little more organized too, I think it could push out some stronger winds. But at least as of now, the wind damage risk is more spotty as it moves through. All right, I'll jump back on here. Just want to give you an update on what's going on. So those storms move through, more on the way tonight, and then a pretty dry week ahead. There's not much going on next week, which should be pretty nice after this active weekend. See you guys back next time.